Okay, 9:06 here on Tuesday. Now to ways to save on an expense we are all feeling right now, groceries. You're looking live at Detroit for a reason. A new Wallet Hub study finds people in Detroit spend the highest percentage of their median household income on groceries. Here's a breakdown. Wallet Hub says Detroiters are spending nearly 4% of their income on groceries. We pay more for things like lettuce, sugar, and whole milk. But when it comes to ground beef, tuna, and peaches, we are seeing some of the least expensive prices in the countries. So we reached out to money-saving expert Andrea Woroch for some advice on how we can save when we're shopping. Andrea, thank you so much for joining us. It's one of those things that we don't have a choice. Groceries are groceries, and we have to buy them to eat. But there are things you can do to try to trim that grocery bill a little bit.
Yes, and I think it's important to also realize that not everything you buy at the grocery store is a necessity. I mean, how many times do we all throw in some extra food that we didn't plan to purchase, whether it was a tempting food display or, you just make some impulse food purchases. And so having that shopping list is a really important tool to streamline your shopping, making sure you're not buying in excess, because that's going to drive up your food bill and also lead to full food waste. And actually, the most important thing you can do is create a meal plan. That meal plan that you make is going to account for every meal you plan to eat at home. Then you can look for recipes that use overlapping ingredients so that you cook everything that you buy in its entirety. How often do you buy that big bag of potatoes but don't cook all the potatoes, and then some of them go to waste? And so your meal plan would effectively use everything you buy. And then this is going to really trim that grocery bill.
I've actually seen some websites, or maybe it was on TikTok, or people sharing where you can download recipes that overlap and spread out the ingredients over a week or so.
Exactly. There are various services you can sign up for, subscribe to, and they can create meal plans for you. And there are some that use just a few ingredients to stretch your budget, but also it's healthier when you do it that way too, and use whole foods. Yeah. And what I love about once you have your meal plan in place, now you can create your shopping list. Again, that's going to guide you through the store to make sure you're not buying unnecessary groceries. And then you can see also, what do you already have at home? Maybe you forgot you had an ingredient, you don't want to double up. Check your freezer, fridge, pantry. This way you can check those off, and then take it one step further. Now look up circulars for the different grocery stores in your area to see if anyone has a better deal for the main ingredients on your list, whether it's a meat or chicken or fish. This is where I would then recommend shopping to help reduce your overall cost.
Yeah, you had mentioned there are some areas of the grocery store that are marked up to 300% or more.
That's a little scary. Yes, some grocery sections are going to cost you more, specifically the bakery. When it comes to cookies, cupcakes, muffins, these types of items, I mean, you're going to be paying almost 300% more than if you made them yourself. Now, I know time is an issue. Maybe not everybody's excellent at baking, but even if you just go to the regular baking aisle and buy a boxed cookie, cupcake, brownie mix, those are going to be cheaper. I mean, you're getting them for a few dollars, and they're going to also be just as tasty, and they don't require that much extra effort to make. So I would recommend doing that. Otherwise, if you are in the bakery, look for maybe the day-old baked goods. It's going to be about 50% less. And then also anything that's been prepared, whether it's a meat that's been cut up or marinated, a chicken that's been cut up for a kebab, even a fruit or a vegetable that's been slightly prepared, a fruit salad, let's say, those are going to cost you anywhere from 50 to 100% more than if you just bought the whole produce or the larger slab of meat and marinated it at home. So really consider this.
What's funny about that, Andrea, is that there's a conversation that I've heard in multiple households about the obviously the savings on buying and preparing everything yourself, but then some people say I'd rather spend the money because I don't have the time to prepare it.
You know what? I think that that's a valid point. If you are somebody who will buy, whole produce or a whole head of lettuce with the intention of making a salad and then it just ends up in the trash, then okay, get to know yourself and what is going to make your life easier. And if that means spending a little bit more, but you're actually eating it and using it all in its entirety, go for it, because that's a better deal in the long run than throwing anything away, because that's just like throwing your hard-earned dollars in the trash.
Right. What's your experience in doing grocery shopping at some of those major wholesalers like Sam's Club and Costco and buying in bulk?
Yes. Okay. So these could be really great resources as long as you pay attention to a few items. First of all, don't overbuy fresh food in bulk. Again, what's going to happen is unless you have a large family, a lot of people who are going to consume all that food, you're eating at home a lot, chances are some of it's going to go bad. That doesn't mean you shouldn't buy there because there are good deals, but just be really particular about what you're buying and really have that meal plan. Consider what you're going to need and what you don't. Maybe for a pack of strawberries or blueberries, buy the smaller container at your local grocery store rather than the large ones. I mean, I've had to learn this myself for my family. Some of the fruits or vegetables that last longer, I'll buy in bulk, but the others I'll buy smaller containers of. Also, this could include potato chips or crackers. If you buy a large bag, you don't consume it all, it could go stale. Milk, bread as well. So you really do want to pay attention to that. Anything that goes in the freezer, though, as long as you have room for it, that's a great deal. Plus, then you always have something to make when you don't have your fresh food in the fridge, and then this will save you on takeout.
I wanted to get your take. I've heard some friends say that they can save massively by using the discount stores like an Aldi, for instance. Is the quality there? And they're like the off-brand name chips and things like that. I hear they taste just as good, but I haven't tried them yet.
Yes, no, these stores are a great resource. If you haven't tried it, I would recommend going in and giving it a go because you're going to be surprised at how much you can save. And the store brands really, have come a long way over the last decade and rival the name brands. Oftentimes they're manufactured in the same facilities. You can compare ingredients side by side. And what I love too about, stores like Target or Walmart, a lot of these grocery stores will accept returns if you're not happy with the taste of a certain food product. So why not give it a go, whether it's the generic cereal, generic crackers that you eat on a daily basis. If this is going to save you a few bucks per package, try it because in the long run, it's going to cut your grocery bill.
But you've got to bring your own grocery bag, right?
You know what? That will help you save as well, too.
Okay, Andrea, thank you so much for your time this morning. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.